Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Sheltered 2, my Perfect Start series. This is an initial look as the game is currently still in beta. So we've started a game, so what we'll do is we'll name it The Perfect Start. The faction name, it's not really fear-inducing, but for the purposes of this series, that's what we'll go for. Now, I already have my characters pre-created. So you can go with skin colour on the body, male or female. So there we go, I'll just switch back to where I was. There we go, so that's just going through all of the different colours. Then features, you can choose face presets, you can flick through those and do your eye colours. So, brown, blue, green or black. Hair, there's a few options. You've got bald, you've got long parting, long swept, medium messy. I'll just keep it at short messy. I'll keep the eyebrows as type A and facial hair full beard. Accessories, you can plop a hat on the head if you want, go through a couple of different logos that are available, or you can have a gas mask or a beanie or no hat at all. And you can have glasses, and there are some sunglasses and stuff that you can put on as well. Outfits, so we've got shirt and tie, there's a load of different options. We'll switch him to a jacket, and next you have your stats. So these are the same as the original game Sheltered. So this is how your person is. Resourceful as a trait is important. So higher chance of recovering more items when deconstructing objects. You'll see why later on. Now I've put more than 20 hours into this game, so this is our second character. So I'm confident enough to be able to give you guys the best start to this game, albeit it's not out yet. So come back, bookmark the series, and when the game is released, come back and have a look. Now with Katya, we've got a good upbringing, and there we go, there's all her skill points. And then Small Eater. So if you remember the original Sheltered game, Small Eater was important. So food rations relieve more hunger. Now George, the third member of our shelter, so he's already pre-set up. Lovely, just flick through all the different things. Now his stats, he's well-rounded, so he's got 3 for everything. Okay, and traits, we can do him hands-on, so he can craft and fix faster. So you've got Small Eater, hands-on, and resourceful. There's a lot of other ones you can choose from, but I found that kind of these ones work best for the start. Now, not going to do the tutorial. You can feel free to do it yourselves. However, what I will be giving you here is some very early tips and tricks that are going to give you the best head start within this game that you can possibly have. So just waiting for the game to load. So here we go, this is your start. 20 arduous years have passed since the world ended. 6 rival factions now dominate the wasteland, fighting over resources and territory. A new faction has emerged to take control. We join this faction as their leader has just discovered the perfect place for their headquarters, a hidden underground shelter. Okay, so here we are, day 1. Our 3 shelter inhabitants are here. Okay, so now what we can do is they'll all have their initial stats and requirements, same as the original game, but let's go straight to the drafting table and craft object. And the first thing you want to build is additional storage. Very essential because you're already quite close to your limit with all the stuff that you get, depending on the initial game difficulty that you put it on. For the sake of brevity and for the sake of doing this series, this is on easy. I've played on both moderate, hard and brutal as well. The difficulty makes the initial stuff more challenging, but the general blueprint of what you want to be doing is what I'm doing here. Now that's mood that you can see, and then we have desires. Currently there's none populated because we've literally just started. Then you have stats and skills. Now the skill tree, as you unlock them, there are a lot of things that you can apply your skill points to, and that's for each of the skill traits. We'll get into that in more detail later in the series, but for now we've got all this junk sitting outside our shelter. So what do? Well, you send the guy who is resourceful, who is going to get more stuff from salvaging these items, and you go and salvage. And this is going to give you a lot of your initial stuff that you can use to build items that are fairly essential at the beginning of the game. So off he goes, and he will start salvaging. Now the next thing you want to do right off the bat is do an expedition. So we'll do that in a second. You can see their stats are all good. So right click the computer desk there and set up expedition. We've already got George selected. Use the arrow, so Katia. We want to send George and Katia out and then go next. Okay, so we'll dismiss this. Now at the moment there's no equipment. So all we can equip at the moment is weapons. So there we go. Knuckle duster, and that's pretty much it. So you go next. And then dismiss. Now for your first run, you want to search the caravan. No matter how you start, it will be there, but the terrain is procedurally generated, so it's going to be different for every game. But what you want to do is go all the way around the outskirts and search the caravan. Okay, so here we go. He started to salvage, so we've got some rocks there. And Katia and George are now going off on that initial expedition. And that caravan will contain lots of lovely stuff that you will not be able to carry in one trip. So we've got 2 logs there from the second piece of salvage. And off he goes to the tyre. So get that salvaged as well. That'll be some rubber. And then what you also want to do is click on that planter and plant seeds. And you've got some broccoli seeds to begin with. Okay, so we've got 4 rubber for that. 1 star. Lovely. And off he goes to salvage the logs. We can then salvage the rest. So more tyres, a pile of bricks, a pile of rubble. And there's an oil drum there. Oh, okay, we've salvaged that wood. Lovely. And salvage. So there we go. So now we're salvaging all the stuff. Let's speed up time and let him get all these tasks done. So there we go. He's planted the broccoli. Harvesting. Oh, there's a wood pile actually. Got 2 logs from that. Okay, and some more stuff. Yeah, and some more stuff. Some cement, some metal, and some metal scrap, which we can recycle later. Again, I will show you how to do that. And collected the metal there. There's still a tyre there, but to be honest, not overly bothered. We can salvage that. Should we salvage it now? Yeah, let's salvage it now. Okay, now we've got the 2 boxes that we put in, and we're at 655 out of a maximum of 1,000. That's because that initial box could only hold 500 pounds of weight. So you need that second one to make way. We've got rain incoming tomorrow. Now, the same as sheltered, one of the things you want to do is expand your water supply, but you can't initially, and we don't have tier 2 unlocked yet. Now, you can craft items here. So this is the full list of items that you can craft from base ingredients. And obviously it's again tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. So here's our workbench, and this is where we can recycle items. So recycle, dismiss the message, and we've already got here some stuff that we can recycle, which is the logs. And that's going to give us more wood. And we're going to need that wood to construct some of our items. So off he trots. We're at 36 out of 60 water. We know it's going to rain tomorrow. So we're going to get more. But let's also build an additional room. So a mud room, and put that down there. There we go. Because you want to start expanding your shelter fairly quickly as well. And here we go. Our expedition needs attention. So they've finished searching. So view items. Now this is all about weight management. So we've got 120 kilos of weight, or pounds of weight that we can take. The book doesn't weigh anything. Now take the radio, TV and the wood. We'll take that light bulb, weighs nothing, and the clothes and the camouflage. Now you have to start being a bit more careful. So check the weight of the stuff. Now I'm clicking on stuff that I know weighs nothing. Because obviously I've played this quite a bit now. Now the fuel is fairly essential as well. But we'll leave one of them behind. Take the storybook, the soap. Yeah, we're watching our weight. Rubber weighs nothing, neither does the rope. We'll take the tyre and the plastic. But as you can see, we're already getting quite close to our weight limit. So those 5 pieces of 2-star metal, oh yes, we'll take that. Now, as you may have noticed, everything has a star next to it for its quality, 1, 2 or 3. Now this is different to the original game. But most of your base recipes to begin with will only need 1-star materials. But of course, if you don't have any 1-star but you do have 2-star, it will use those instead. So do be conscious of that as well as you play. So we're taking the knife. How much weight do we have left? We're nearly there. So we're at 117. That's about it. So we'll confirm and we'll close. Now we leave those 2 to walk around the edge. As you can see, they've already uncovered some additional tiles. But exploration in this game is key, because you do not get items respawning in the sites that you search. You do get some additional items appearing, but not like a full respawn like you got in Sheltered, where you could go to a location and come back again. So what we're going to do is we right clicked on the drafting table and we're rearranging shelter. So again, this was a key component of the original game. Get everything moved around. Now we haven't constructed this room yet, so we can't move the box down there yet. We could put it there, but no, what we'll do is we'll leave it where it is. Nothing else really needs to be moved at the moment, just the Jenny and that locker, which is how you can change your character's looks and outfits. There we go, our guys are exploring. So let's craft an object. So what we're going to want first is the cot. So the simplest bed in the game. Obviously tier 2 is what unlocks a slightly more comfortable bed, but you have to fulfill a series of tasks to do that. So invalid placement, we need to move it slightly to the right. There we go. Okay, so he's going to go and craft that bed. Now what we can do is move the lights, because that's again fairly important in this. They're very sensitive to being in the dark. You're not going to get them to stay in the light early in the game, but what you can do is move around all the initial light bulbs into slightly different locations to improve the distribution of light within your shelter. However, they will still complain that they're in the dark, and don't go mad on creating light bulbs, because all you will do is you'll use all your resources and you'll be using more fuel. So these guys are exploring more. There's a water tile there that's appeared. Okay, so fast forward again, just to get things done more quickly. Okay, and now we're due to have some rain at some point today, so hopefully that will fill up our water butts, but we only have a capacity of 60 at the moment, and we have no way of building any additional ones at the moment because we need gaffer tape to be able to do that. So he's going to sleep. Now we also have room stats, so if you clicked on that little wavy line there, we can see the temperature in the room, its cleanliness, its light levels, and its temperature change per hour as well. So you can see the degrees going up and down. Now for food, you want a very cold room, and for your shelter inhabitants, you want it to be nice and cozy and warm. But again, it's something that you don't have to worry about initially, and as you can see, the light levels are fairly low. Not an issue for now, and you can ask people to manage a room as well, but again, not necessary at the moment. So what we'll do is go outside, have a little look around. Okay, come back down. So our expedition are now resting. So this is something that happens once they use their energy. They will rest to recover their energy, and then they will continue exploring. And also something else in this that's the same as sheltered is you want to make sure when they come back, if they're hungry and dirty, you want to have a shower first. And we don't even have a shower yet. But there's a rainstorm coming, isn't there? So you'll see something that's a very quick tip in the near future as it comes up as to something that you can do about cleanliness. Okay, so we still can't construct the water butt. As I said, as you can see, you need the masking gaffer tape. Okay, let's have a look. What have our guys got on our expedition? There's the plastic that we need, but as of yet, we can't make the gaffer tape because we need glue and string to be able to create it. Now for glue, you're going to need to harvest some animals, and they will give you bones, and those bones plus water can be used to make glue, which again I shall show you in the not too distant future in this video. Now the other essential things are the table and chair, the mop and bucket, and of course the toilet, because although a shower isn't completely essential at the beginning, a toilet is. So we'll get the toilet built. There we go. So the table and chairs, the shower, the toilet, not the shower, and the third item, the mop and bucket, so you can clean the shelter. So those items we have now created. We'll cancel those because he doesn't need to actually build them right now. However, the toilet, you can see his bar has gone yellow. So what we will do, he's going to eat some food, which is an AI job. So you click the clipboard, and this is the name of all your residents, and where the ticks are, they are the AI tasks. So when they get to a low stat, they will automatically go and fulfill that requirement, whether that's the toilet, the shower, food, or water. So this is the glossary. So you have all of your character information. You can read through at your leisure. I won't go through them all. You have your shelter information, exploration information, and menu information. So if you're ever stuck with anything, head over to the glossary, the question mark there at the top right, and go to the section that you need to see. So again, we'll bring up those temperature stats. You can see the room, now that he's dropped that can of food on the floor, is 99% clean rather than 100%. Now, I haven't let any rooms get filthy yet, just to see if rats and stuff turn up, but that's mainly because I like having a tidy shelter, and there's no reason why not. You know, it doesn't use up a lot of energy for someone to go around with the mop and bucket and clean everything up. And here we have rain on the surface, and there's a rabbit there as well. So we will build a snare. Not right this second we won't, but we will build a snare, because then that'll let us make glue, because we don't have enough resources at the moment. And we know that although we could craft some rope, the guys out on the expedition have found some rope. So we will be able to build that snare trap when they get back. Our water's going up nicely, so we've got 43 out of 60, and it will fill up. Right, okay, let's see where they are. Okay, they've uncovered quite a bit now, but no other buildings to explore. However, there is some forest there, and I'll explain why that's a good thing when we go back and have a look at the map. So he needs to use the toilet, so off he goes. There we go, use the toilet. Now his cleanliness is yellow. But guess what? It's raining. Send him outside. Don't need a shower. Here we go. Out he goes, and watch that cleanliness bar slowly going down because he's standing in the rain. It's a free shower. So very early on, you get a free shower. Well, you can do it any time, of course, because it saves water. But if your water's full and it's peeing it down with rain, you can use the shower because the water will get replenished normally before it stops raining. If you're at the start of a rainstorm, of course. Now let's check our broccoli. Okay, so that's about 56% growth. Now something else you have to watch out for, so a quick tip, watch your plants grow. Because when they get to 100% growth, if you don't go and harvest them, you might get a randomer in the wasteland, wander in, pull up all your broccoli or whatever's growing there at the time, and take it for themselves. And that's not good. In fact, I've had it happen to me quite a few times when I've forgotten, and I've been like, someone's stolen it. No. So you don't want that to happen. Now, take all, same as the old game, confirm we've taken everything because we've got enough storage space. Okay, so we can now craft that snare, but we still can't make the water butt because we don't have any gaffer tape. So let's build a snare, and we'll put it anywhere. It doesn't really matter where. Put it there, and we'll just hope that it catches a rabbit. Okay. Right. See the AI tasks kicking in there? So he just went and had water because he needed it. So we cancelled it off of the build list for Alistair, and we gave it to George because he crafts quicker, and also his hygiene is in the yellow. So we'll send them outside into the rain to get them clean because we don't actually have a shower yet. Okay, so we'll let Catcher get a bit cleaner there. As you can see, that will slowly go down over time. In fact, George is already green, so we can send him back in and get him to do some other tasks. So he's going to eat food because that's his AI requirement at the moment. But then what we'll also get him to do is craft the table. So we'll cancel the food that he was going to do via the AI. Just click on it once you've assigned another job, and then we'll get him to eat. So we've got plenty of food here. So eat a 1-star can of food. There we go. Then the reason I got him to build the table and chairs first is because when they eat, if there is a table and chairs nearby, they'll go and sit down. And more importantly, all the waste is left on the table. So the plate and the empty food cans and whatever they've been eating stays on the table, and then you can clean the table. So, you know, saves a bit of time, makes it easier. Cleaning a table is much quicker than cleaning the entire shelter. Oh, we've got Speedy Builder, so increased crafting speed. So this is within your faction banner, so go to goals and dismiss that. And these are all of the goals that you've got. So Speedy Builder, we've crafted 5 out of 10 items to get 2 stars. And these are all the different things here. But if you go down, we've got Building 101. So we need to craft a bed, toilet, shower, stove, and a room to unlock Tier 2 recipes from the drafting table. And you do want those Tier 2 recipes because that's a comfy bed, as well as room heaters and lots of other nice stuff that you're going to be wanting to put into your shelter. So we'll close that for now. Okay, how's Catchy doing out there? Yep, she's completely clean. Okay, so we'll get her to have some food because she's hungry. Okay. There we go, get that mop and bucket built, although of course we don't need to clean the shelter particularly at the moment, but we need it there for when we do. So let's go back to the craft object menu. We can't build a shower yet because we are missing a valve. But we can craft one of those because we have pipes and rubber. So confirm, we'll craft a valve. So that won't take too long. In he comes. So speedy builder, I haven't dismissed that message yet. That's something else. The message will stay there until you physically dismiss it. Get him to eat because his hunger is getting up there as well. Right, send him to sleep. And that's the other thing, the same as the original game, you need to manage your sleep at the beginning of the game because you've only got one bed and it's a cot, so it takes them ages to recover their energy. Okay, but now we can build a shower. So let's get the shower put in, down next to the toilet. There we go. And the next thing we want to do is expand further, of course, because we do have the cement and the ability to do it. As well as the fact that we know in that caravan that we didn't pick up, there is more cement in there because it weighs 20 each. So we've got 3 activations remaining and we're at 52% growth for our broccoli. So I think earlier when we flashed past, it must have been about 38% grown. Right, Catch is building that. George is sleeping. Okay. Now I can do some more stuff. So let's have a look here. We can't build that because we need a hinge. So go to craft and hinge. We can't because we've got no scrap metal. So that needs some metal shavings and it needs 3 of them. Okay, in that case, let's recycle some items. So what have we got to recycle? We've got the stuff that we took from the expedition. So we'll recycle the radio, the wood, the TV, the clothes, and what else? Mineral ore. So we'll do that as well. And then that little metal scrap there, so scrap pile, there we go. It gives us what we need, 3 pieces of metal shavings. So recycle. So he'll go and recycle those. Then we can craft a hinge and then we can build our initial stove. But in the meantime, let's have a quick look. 3.62 fuel. So it started full and we have 7 in reserve and 1 more to pick up from the caravan. So that will give us 8. But fuel is one of the things that you need to manage like crazy in this game. It can be quite sparse. It all does depend on that procedural generation of what's near you in relation to places that you can search. But we'll speed up the game, so we'll get all this stuff crafted. Oh, we've got someone coming in. Respond. Can I interest you in some medicines or seeds? Damn straight you can. Okay, so out of all the stuff he's got here, what you want is the cheap stuff and the stuff that will give you items. So we'll take those wood crates, they're only 1.5 credits each, as well as the empty container. We'll take the animal fat as well, and we'll take the wood, and we'll take the mineral ore. Don't need the seeds. Okay, we'll take all these potatoes as well, because what we can do with these is we can make some baked potatoes. And that, of course, is food supply. So 21.75 is the cost. And what we're going to do is we're going to find some items. So go to the yellow flowers, the yellow jasmine, 3-star. They're worth 10 each. So give 2 of those, that's 20. And 21.75, but we've only got a 59% chance of a deal. Now, you do have 2 attempts to make a deal, but what we'll do is we know that that's only worth 1.5, so we can get rid of it. And what we can do, we'll get rid of the rock. There we go, the mineral ore, because we've already got some silicon. So that's 20.25, 93% chance of a deal. Let's give it a go. Traders agreed with our proposed deal. Okay, so there we go. We've got some more stuff now that can be recycled. Catchy there's about to fall asleep. As I said, this is all about the sleep management. And we can also craft that hinge now. So let's get Alistair to craft the hinge. And come on, George, wake up. There we go. So now Catchy's going to instantly go to sleep. Look, it doesn't even give George a chance to get out of bed. She's like, I need sleep. Right, we're not going to set up another expedition yet, but go back to craft. We can now craft the stove. Right. Okay, let's cancel that job. And what we'll do is rearrange shelter. So move that box over to the side. That one can stay there. Again, pixel movement is the same as in sheltered. You want to get everything pixel perfect. Move the table, and now what we can do, craft object, pour stove, and there we go. So we unlock tier 1 recipes by building the tier 1 stove. One of those items, of course, being a baked potato. Now let's build an additional room as well. So dirt room. Now you can upgrade the rooms later, and that is a wall partition. So a partition wall. So this is new. What this does, it allows you to divide a room into a smaller room so you can heat it easier. So think making a bedroom nice and warm with a heater. Then you have cold rooms for your food because you do not have a fridge or a freezer. So what you want is you want your room with your food to be as cold as possible. Now there are cooling items in the game as well, but that's way later in the series. What we're doing here is we're getting you off to the best possible start that you can have in the game. Okay, so I'm going to need sleep soon as well. So craft object, if you haven't figured out, my name's Alistair. Right, okay, so these are all the now tier 2 items that we can create. Wind turbine, generates electricity, fairly important. Halogen heater, that's our first medium decency heater. And as you can see, the bed there has got a tick next to it as well, so we can build a more comfortable bed. But craft items, we need a resistor for the halogen heater. So we'll craft one of those. We're not going to build it yet, but we'll craft the item necessary because that was the only missing ingredient. Okay, speed up time. There we go. So he's crafted an item. He needs sleep. So now we're waiting for Katya to wake up so that Alistair can go to sleep, and George is fairly okay at the moment. So let's get him to craft. So go to tier 2. We could build a light, but as you can see, it uses quite a bit of your resources. So it uses 2 plastic, 2 metal, a bulb, and the wiring. So now let's go to recycle. So we've got lots of all the stuff that we got from that trader. So we've got some more logs to recycle. Perfect. Wooden crates to recycle. Perfect. Tire. That's going to give us some more rubber. And we've got the rock as well, which will give us some silicon and magnesium. So get that all recycled. But for the initial start, as you can see, we're already on day 3. The water tank is full at 60 because we showered outside. And as you can see, we've uncovered this. Now, the importance of a forest is that you can forage and you can hunt. And the good thing is, with hunt, you don't need to have any decent hunting weapons equipped. You don't need a rifle or anything like that. You can just go and hunt, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get some meat, potentially some fat and bone and other bits and pieces from hunting, which is good to replenish your food supplies. Now, if you're doing this on the much harder difficulties, that hunting and finding some forest is much more important because you've got a lot less food to work with and a lot less resources. Okay, so again, it becomes managing the needs. And the other thing is as well, later in the series that I'll show you, is how to skill up. So you can do that through books, going on expeditions, building up your charisma by negotiating trade deals with people, obviously fighting, and everything else builds up your stats. And then, of course, you unlock stat points, and those stat points can then be spent on traits, and those traits improve your characters in their abilities to do things in different situations. So open pantry, so eat some food. Now let's go, right, can't use the toilet, can he? Because Katya's off using the toilet. So let's speed it up, let her use the toilet. There we go, now we can add it. So use toilet. So he's going to eat and then go to the loot, as you do. Okay, right, so now we're going to craft the recipe. So we could do some potato soup, but that's going to use water. So instead, let's just do 5 baked potatoes and confirm. Now Katya will go up to the stove and she will begin baking those potatoes. So here we go. Let's zoom in and have a look. That's the other thing, you can zoom in. So zoom in, mouse wheel forwards, and there we go. She's cooking some nice, tasty, delicious baked potatoes. Okay, so there it is, jacket potato. Okay, so she'll craft all of those. George, right, okay, George. Anything I want you to do at the moment? No, you're fairly good on your stats. The only thing you need is hygiene, but that's not too bad. And again, as I said, hygiene, do remember if it's over 50% dirty, you will find that you can get food poisoning, at which point your people will start vomiting. Now, they don't die from it. However, you'd need to use one of your anti-memetic pills to stop them from making an absolute mess of the place, and you only have a few. Now, we've got some camouflage here, but you need the entire party to be wearing the camouflage, so it's pointless to equip it to one person. So we'll go to our weapons. So there we go. So we can't equip the knife because it needs a strength of 4, and George is only strength 3, and Katya is strength 1. So we'll equip the knuckle dusters. We'll send them to collect the rest of the stuff, and again scout the edge to uncover some more tiles. And there's your hunt option. We're not going to do it now, or forage. So that's seeds and flora. But we'll go and we'll do a nice little triangle there and go next. So off they go on their expedition, and we'll repair the bed when we wake up, and off they go. Oh, we've caught a rabbit. Look at that, we've got a rabbit. Lovely. Okay, so harvest trap, and let's speed up time. Okay, so time sped up. There we go. I should wake up momentarily. There we go. And repair the bed. Lovely jubbly. And go and harvest the trap. And what's that's hopefully going to give us is some bones. The broccoli is at 88%. We'll add some water because the soil is just moist now. So there we go. Yeah, we got 2 bones. Awesome. That'll allow us to make 2 pots of glue. So we're going to be able to build our gaffer tape. Okay. Right, so water those plants. There we go. Go over to the workbench, craft item. Okay, we still can't build that because we need the gaffer tape, and for the gaffer tape we need glue. So we can't build that till we've got glue, but we can build 2 pots of glue. So water and bone. So we'll build 2 of those. Here he comes, down he comes, and there we go. Okay, so he's made 1 glue, and give him a second. There we go, he's made 2. So now craft item, and there we go, duct tape, which we call gaffer tape here in the UK. Okay, so once you've crafted that, there we go, go to the drafting table, craft object, go to tier 2, and what you want to do is build the water barrels, because they contain 50 units of water opposed to 20 within the water butt. So those 2 barrels will give us an additional 50 water capacity, so a total of 110 water, which is much better than the initial 60, because as you can see we're already back down to 48, and he needs to use the loo. Now our quest team's arrived at their destination, so view items. So we'll take the cement, because that allows us to build more rooms. Food has appeared, so we'll take that, so 1 item spawned. And we'll take the fuel. So we're at 101 weight, got a little bit more capacity, that's 15. Okay, that's us now at 116. We can take the glass and the jar, but that's it. Everything else is now red, so confirm. And close. There we go.